so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, push the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. So good to be with you today. So happy to have with us top 20 online semifinalist Reese Littlewood. And then last week, you finished third at the Syndicate Crown, I think surprising many and winning 2 events. Congratulations on all that.
Yeah, thank you.
So before we get into too much, you grew up in Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I did too.
Nice.
I grew up on the western side, and
Okay.
you are an eastern Pennsylvania girl, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like an hour outside of Philly.
So in Pottstown?
Oh, what was that part? Sorry.
In Pottstown?
Yeah, in Pottstown.
Yeah, so my wife has relatives in Pottstown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's like the hometown of oh gosh, that beer. Yingling beer.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so we've been over there. We visit her aunt and uncle all the time when we're over that way. But I love the state of Pennsylvania. I live in Ohio now, but grew up in Pennsylvania and miss the mountain when we're not there. So I have a question for you. A couple of years ago, we did a series where we were following athletes from the Open to the CrossFit Games.
Mm-hmm.
We actually approached you. My co-host, Kat Shearer, approached you, and I think your mom,
Mm-hmm.
to see if you guys wanted to do it. But we were kind of new to this whole thing, and we just couldn't kind of get together on it. Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah, we met her at a CrossFit gym. I think it was in Kennett Square, had like a teen partner or teen competition of some sort that I went to. And then she was there. And so she had like brought it up. But yeah, I think it just kind of got lost in the path a little bit. But yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so we did that series that year, and it was a lot of fun. But she actually saw something in you at that competition where she thought this is going to be somebody to watch, and we wanted to feature you as one of those athletes that year. And it's awesome that now here we are 2 years in the future, and you're a CrossFit Games champion.
Yes, it's been crazy the last couple of years. It's been a good time. I've been enjoying myself quite a bit.
So for people who don't know, you've been to the games 3 times as a teen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was 22, 23, and 24.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 times you finished 4th.
Yep.
And then last year you ended up winning the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who was your biggest competition during those years in the teen division?
I don't know. I didn't like think too much about like, oh, I need to beat this person and this person. But there were a couple, like I competed with Lucy McGonigal all of those years. Burgos, Bjorn's daughter, Riley Beebe, I think was there all 3 years. So there was like a couple, there's definitely like a class of the teen division, if you will, that we were all there for those 3 years. So I always kind of competed with some familiar faces. And then this past year when I won, like it was kind of like Elsie, Larson, Lucy, and I. And then I think like Miley Wade and I want to say Burgos were all kind of around the top 5 for most of the time. And then it kind of shook out in my favor. So, yeah.
Just kind of shook out. So you got to experience both the Madison experience of going to like the full CrossFit Games.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year they separated the teens off and they held it at the pit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, what were the best parts of the full experience and what were the best parts of the pit?
I think like the best part of the full experience was you were there alongside everybody. So like you would be in the warm-up area and Laura Horvath was on the bar like 10 feet from you, or you'd see like all of the like elite, all like essentially at that time all of your idols are like walking in and out like right next to you, and you're watching them get ready for the events, and like you're not technically doing the same thing as them, but like it feels like you're with them in a way. You're all warming up, you're all kind of have similar emotions, so it's really cool to be like right there with the people that you're looking up to the most. I also just think like, at least I was like obsessed with those documentaries they'd make. So I'd watched all of like the Madison movies, like I'd watch them like daily, leading up to the games. So it was like really cool to be like in the place where you had seen all of these crazy moments and cool like highlight videos and stuff happening. So like that, I was very upset when they announced, well, I was sad that they were leaving Madison, but then I was really upset when they announced that they were splitting, because I felt like that was like taking away part of the experience. And I wouldn't say that like we missed out at the pit. Like I think they did a really good job of making it all about the teens. They had like, they still had media. They still had like all of kind of the coolness factor that they gave the teens at Madison. And I also think like they could kind of make the events a little bit more creative at the pit, because they only had to worry about fitting in the teens, the heats of the teens. They didn't have like 70 different divisions going at the same time.
Yeah, we actually did the behind the scenes of the Masters CrossFit Games.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that was perplexing to us, as we wanted to do the teens and the Masters, but they scheduled them on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And so we had to make a choice as to which one we wanted to go cover. And we ended up doing the Masters and kind of dove into that. And the pit has their own media, so they did a great job with everything they were doing there.
Yeah.
But we had a couple stories of parents and children who both made the games and had to separate on that weekend.
Yeah, that's insane. And my mom hasn't made the games, but she does like she follows the season. So she'll go to like quarterfinals or semis or whatever she makes for the age group. And like just thinking about having to like either compete while your mom's also competing or like kind of choose is insane to me. So I was like, who thought this was a good idea? And I get that like venues, like they probably didn't have much of a choice, but I did think that was crazy that they were like putting them in opposite parts of the country on the exact same weekend.
Yeah, what's really cool this year is they're bringing them back together here in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio. And so we'll get to cover both this year, and I get to sleep in my own bed.
Oh, you're just winning on all fronts. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to be cool. So this year you leveled up to the elite division. Before we get into that, like what got you into this CrossFit thing in the first place?
So I guess like originally what got me into it was the pandemic, because I was a gymnast still at the time. And I was like, I can't just do nothing for these months when we can't go to the gym. Like I have to kind of stay in shape. And my mom hadn't done CrossFit before, but she kind of knew what it was. And she'd done like all sorts of other fitness things. So, like she ran like triathlons, Ironmans. She was a strongman competitor at the time. So like she'd kind of like had her hand in each kind of thing. So we just sort of started making up these workouts that I don't think we even realized were CrossFit really, but it was like basically chippers all the time. So we'd do like 50 push-ups, run to this mailbox and back, 50 jumping jacks or whatever. And we just kind of do those every day. And then I went back to gymnastics after the pandemic and was kind of just over it. I was having like some mental health stuff, different things that I was like, okay, like I think my parents were starting to kind of be like concerned, like you need to get out of this environment. But they didn't tell me that per se. And I was just kind of done with it. So we did a trial class at the CrossFit gym near our house. And at this point, I knew what CrossFit was. Like I'd seen all the movies. I was super into it. So we did a trial class and I loved it. Then my Christmas gift was like a membership. So I think I did like 4 months where I'd go to the 6 a.m. class, go to school, and then go to gymnastics practice. And then like right after the Open that year, it was 2021. I was like, okay, like I'm done with gymnastics. I just want to pursue this.
So I did read that you kind of got hooked by a documentary and watching all the movies. Do you have a favorite that is kind of like your go-to?
Ooh, more have come out since then that I really like, but I think the one that got me originally was the Dubai. I think the Buttery Bros made it. I'm not sure, but it's like Laura Horvath is like pulling candy out of her bra while they're running like through the sand. And then it's like all these things. I was like, this is insane. Like, I want to do this when I'm done. And at the time I was like, when I'm done college gymnastics, then I'm going to go and do CrossFit. And obviously plans changed and I didn't really care for gymnastics anymore once I started CrossFit.
Is that the same one as acid bath?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite workouts is acid bath. I like it as like a benchmark. when I'm trying to get back into like full fitness shape, like I do that and then I retest it to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I love the video of them duck walking to the finish line because there's just like nothing left.
Yeah. The like dives and then they're in the tunnel. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a good movie. They did a great job with that one. Yeah. I'm like really old school. Like I go back to, like the behind the scenes of all the games back in the day. And, we were lucky enough that they premiered the Rich Froning documentary here in Columbus at a movie theater.
Nice.
And so we got to go see that. Because my best friend actually was a spokesperson for Rogue, and then we got invited because of that. And it was awesome. Seeing that on the big screen was so good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So then you go into this affiliate, and I read that you were hooked immediately.
Yeah, pretty much right away. I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, I want to do this with all of my time. Yeah.
Was it the community? Was it the workouts? Was it the coach?
I think initially it was just the workout. Like, I just really loved it. I was like, this is so fun. Like, I can push myself in a way that, like, not that you can't push yourself in gymnastics, but there's not as much of an element of like, you're just going to will yourself through this. Like, at some point it's like, you can do it or you can't. So I think I really liked that aspect of it. And I just thought the movements were fun. And then at the time, like we were just going to a class a couple times a week. But then I got like exposed, I'd say, to the community during the open. And that's really, I think, what kind of hooked me was like, oh, this is awesome. Like beyond just the workouts, like I love every bit of this.
So you said your mom did triathlons and all of your original workouts were long chippers. Do you like that grind, go dark, just figure out a way to get to the end? And did you get that from her?
Yeah. I don't know if I got it from her. I'm sure part of it is, or just like kind of natural. I don't know. But it is kind of funny. Like the stuff that we did that was like just pure grunt work, like not a lot of skill or like heavy is like not my favorite thing now. Like now I love doing all the like skills or the like heavy dumbbells, and I wouldn't say I'm great at them, but that's like my favorite types of workouts. But I think, yeah, like I definitely got things from her genetically. I'm a lot like my mom. And she's like always been very fit and very like open to trying things and pushing herself. So I definitely think part of that's from her.
Is her like lifestyle what got you into gymnastics initially? Like as just doing something movement related?
Yeah, I don't think like, not that I didn't choose to get in gymnastics, but like they just put me in the baby classes when I was like really little, and I kind of just stuck with it from there. I competed on like a gymnastics for all team for a while, and then I switched to like the artistic gymnastics, which is like the stuff you see in college or the Olympics. And I did really love it. Like I loved pushing myself and going to hard practices. Like I really like structure of that sort. And I kind of just fell out of love with it at the end. But it was also like I did it for 13 years. So I think by the time I had found something I loved more, I was already kind of burnt out of that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's a great demonstration about like your mom was super fit. You saw that every day, and it just became part of your life.
Yeah.
So you jump into this CrossFit thing, you're going to a class, you're going to school. How much time could you devote to CrossFit when you initially joined?
Initially, not much at all. Cause I think my gymnastics, our practice was like 3 to 8, maybe. Like we were doing, it was 6 days a week. And I think it was either 3 to 8 or like 3:30 to 7:30 or something in that time frame. So my mom and I would wake up and go to the 6 a.m. class. And then I was doing high school. I think I was going to 6 periods at the time. So I'd have a couple online classes, but I'd go to school basically like 7:30 to 2. We'd drive the hour to the gymnastics gym. I'd do practice, drive the hour back. And then by that point it was time to go to bed. So I would do the class, and then John Wernick, who's now been my coach since the start and owns the affiliate. The days he was coaching class, he'd give me like a little something extra to do, but the classes are on the hour. So it would be like, here, do 5 bar muscle ups right now, or I think that's all I really remember doing, but I'm sure there was other things, but he'd give me like a 5 or 10 minutes of practice or something, but there was I wasn't doing 2 a days or anything outside of the class when I first started.
That's bananas to me. Because I was a swimmer in high school, so I swam 2 hours before school. I swam 2.5 hours after school.
Mhm.
And then I got home and I ate dinner, flat exhausted. Homework became like really tough to fit in.
Yeah.
Like it was like study hall, homeroom,
Hmm.
cramming everything in. How did you work all that in?
I think a lot of it was like I was not fortunate, obviously, but that year was still there was a lot of COVID like restrictions at school, so it was like I don't want to say it wasn't like legit school, but it was very different than like my like back 2 years of high school. So like we did have classes, but there was a lot of time of like half the school was online, half the kids were going to in-person school. So they did give us a lot of wiggle room, which I think helped. But other than that, like just weekends, they try to get ahead for the week. Fortunately, I don't get car sick. So the ride to gymnastics, I'd do homework. The ride back, I would do homework. Just kind of get it in whenever I could.
So then you decide to quit gymnastics and go full in on this CrossFit thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you up your time at the gym at that point?
Yeah. So like looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, why did I think that this would work? And luckily it did. But I basically went to my parents and was like, I'm done with gymnastics. Like, I don't want to go anymore. I want to do more CrossFit. And I think by this point, I was like hardcore watching all of the YouTube of like Brooke Wells, Mal O'Brien, Haley Adams, and like watching their different training things. And I'd be like, I want to do more of that. Like they're doing this for like 4 or 5 hours a day. I want to do that much CrossFit. So my parents, I think, had a meeting with John and were like, okay, like, will you coach her? She wants to do this. She wants to be done with gymnastics. And I don't know exactly the details of that meeting, but I guess he said like, yes. So I stopped gymnastics, and then my initial training schedule was like, I think I did 4 3-hour days and then 1 or 2 2-hour days. And then like whatever was left was resting. But basically I would do 1 hour of skills. I'd take the class and then 1 hour of lifting. So I wouldn't really do any extra like Metcons or anything because I still didn't really know what half the movements were. This was like,
what's crazy is that actually reduced the total time you were spending moving.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was almost like getting a break from gymnastics.
Yeah, it did.
Only do 3 hours a day.
Yes, and because I had an arrangement with the school where I was not staying for the whole day, I feel like I had so much time on my hands those couple of months until we switched to like a summer schedule.
So then you're doing this. Are you doing local competitions? Are you just doing the open and age group quarterfinal stuff like that? Or what pulled the trigger to say, I want to be competitive at this?
Yeah. So I started in January of 2021. And then I think I quit gymnastics like right after the open. So I did do the open that year. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was having fun with it. So I was like, this is cool. I want to, like, if this is what competing is, I want to do this. But I don't think I had any real understanding of like the teen division or how the season worked or anything. But I quit gymnastics. And then a few weeks later, so after I'd been doing that, like kind of 3 hours, a couple times a week, I did I don't remember if they had age group quarterfinals yet. It might have still been the online, like the big online qualifier. But I did that, did not make the games, but I was like, okay, now I want to make the games. Like then I had an understanding. I was like, okay, John, like next year I'm going to the games. Like I want to train and make it. So I'd say it was around then when I was like, yeah, okay, I want to be competitive with this.
And I think I heard you say at Syndicate this weekend that your coach has no experience with like other high level athletes. You were his first. And so you're throwing all this at him. How is he reacting to that?
Yeah, I want to give him some credit. I'm not like by any means the first athlete he's coached. Like he's done personal training and coaching CrossFit classes for a long time. I think, well, I am just the first one that he's coached like specifically to be competitive in CrossFit. But I don't really know how he reacted at first. Like I wasn't really involved with like the meetings that my parents had with him. But I think he's just done a great job. Like he's really good about doing research and like he knows all sorts of different things about like he'll look up their splits of athletes and he's like, okay, this is the split that you can hold. This is the split that you need to be able to hold to be at this point. Like this is what we're going to do to get you there. So he has like so many spreadsheets and different like after every competition, pretty much I'll fill out my splits for workouts, and then he'll fill out the splits for like somebody that won the workout or did really well in that. And that's kind of how he, I think, designs my training from there, is like, okay, we need to get from here to here. This is where you're at. This is where you need to be.
Is he your only coach, or do you have specialist coaches at all?
Nope, he's my only coach. When I first started, or maybe like a year in, he had me work with a running coach because I legit like could not. I was waddling every time I tried to run. So he had like someone that was like specifically a running coach teach me how to run, just form wise. But he's always done any of my progressions, and like he teaches me Olympic lifting and all the CrossFit stuff, does all my programming. Yeah.
So here's a bizarre question. So you guys have this relationship that's now going on 3 years as coach athlete, and you were the first one. You're having so much success. I can't imagine his door not getting knocked on by other athletes now. How would you feel about another athlete taking part of his time away?
I think it's like kind of a loaded, like at this point. So I've known him for 4.5 years now. He's essentially been my coach for 4 of those 4.5 years, but he wasn't like, I've never had another coach. It was just, I wasn't working directly with him. But even still, like he was overseeing everything I did. Like he had me in class all the time. He was giving me the little extra practice. And he is one of my best friends at this point. Like he's my coach, but also like he knows me so well. I know him very well. We have a great relationship, like outside of just like coach and athlete. Like we're not in anything weird. We're like good friends. So I think it would just be strange to have, like, I know he said that like he's not interested in writing like personalized programming for another person, but we've had talks about like, what if someone wanted to follow yours? And I'd be open to that. I think it would definitely take a little bit of like getting used to on all the parts. We'd have to have a lot of conversations, but I'm not like, absolutely not. John can't work with anybody else or anything like that.
Well, it's cool that you've had the conversation and know that that's a possibility. And you know, and you have a plan. And I think that's probably the most important part, is that open communication with him, as you guys are moving forward.
Yeah.
So now you're working with John, you're doing the extra work. Did you know at that point when you told him next year I want to go for the games, you knew you had the ability to do that?
I don't know if I knew I had the ability, but I knew like I was within striking distance that first year, and it was kind of like I knew that I had a lot to get better at. So I think I kind of figured that I was like, if I put a year into this and really learn all of these skills, then like there wouldn't be like a barrier holding me per se. Like it would just be like I needed to get on the same. I needed more time. And I think I felt, because at the time I was going into my like 15-year-old year. So my second year for the younger teen division. So I think at that point, like I knew I was good at gymnastics, or I could be good at gymnastics for that division. And I think I kind of saw that I was like, I just need a bit more time, but I feel like I could get to this level. But I wouldn't say that I was like certain I was going or anything like that.
You just blow my mind at your age, the way that you look at these things. I just want to say that first and foremost. So then you make it to your first CrossFit Games.
Mm-hmm.
What was that day like when you achieved that goal?
It was insane. I remember, I think it was like the format where you had however many days, as long as they were all the workouts were in by Sunday night. And I remember the last one I did had like a max clean and jerk at the end. And it like the CrossFit community at the affiliate I go, so it's CrossFit Phoenixville or Iron Cross Athletics. It's the same gym. But the like community was amazing, is amazing still. But I was like doing this max clean and jerk, and there was a bunch of people just in there watching. And I like almost was crying at the cheering. Like it was so sweet. I made the lift. I don't remember what it was. But I think just at that moment, I was like, I don't know if I made it or not, but I was like feeling just so excited and happy, like peak of joy. And then I was kind of just sitting around all Sunday waiting for the leaderboards to come out. But then I like saw the name. I was like I did it. It's done. Like I made the games. I was so pumped. And
at that point, it's just top 10, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. So you get a 4th place finish your first year. Are you satisfied with that? Did you have a good games, or did you step back and say, I want more?
I think it was kind of a both. Like I was still so new to like I think the games was my second big competition, but it was like 3 or 4 competitions ever. So we were still learning a lot about like strategies for workouts and kind of like how to execute outside the competition, like nutrition and different things like that. Still learning how to compete. And going into the weekend, like I was just happy to be there. Like I didn't really have a goal for my place or anything, but I'm sure like people have been there. Like I ended up being in 3rd on the last day. So then I was like, oh, I need to be on the podium. Like I'm already here. And I kind of like imploded on the last event. I got a ton of no reps. I think I got dead last in it. Like it was just a rough ending. And I think that shook me quite a bit. I was pretty heartbroken. But I think like for the time, like I'm proud of that version of myself that did that games. Like she didn't know what she was doing. But she was there having fun. The goal was to get there. So I think it was kind of both. Like I was pretty upset afterwards. I was like, I don't want this to happen again. Like I don't want to implode like that. But I couldn't have said that I was like disappointed per se, if that makes sense.
And then you're hit with, you move up a level, but you're the youngest in that next 2-year group. Yeah. So like really it favors the older athlete.
Yeah.
Right. So you're coming in as kind of an underdog and you take another 4th. Was it a different kind of 4th for you that year? I
think so. Yeah. It was actually kind of a similar situation. Like I was in contention for, I think I was probably 4th. I was either 3rd or 4th going into the last event, but like it was possible. And then this one was kind of just like a little bit rough, but not in the same way. I didn't look at the leaderboard that year at all. So like I knew where I was overall, but I didn't have any clue of points or anything. So I knew who was right behind me. And I was like, okay, if you beat her, it'll be fine. I had no concept of points or like the ability of people to leapfrog or anything. So I beat this girl and I'm like jumping around so excited. I'm like, I got 3rd, I did it. But I did not. I got 4th because the person that won the event was in 5th and she won it. And I got like, it was close enough that even though I got 4th or 5th or whatever in the event, like she bumped ahead of me. So it still stung. Like no one wants to fall off the podium or like get close and then not make it. But it wasn't the same feeling at all. Like I was very proud of my efforts for the whole weekend. Like it wasn't the same thing where like one event went really terribly and that cost it for me.
So then you go into the oldest age in that age group. And the next year, was the goal to win the games or was it still just to go have fun?
Yeah.
To see how it all kind of played out.
My goal was not, my goal of course is always to win, but that was not what I had set out for that season. I think that was the first year that I'd said, like, I want to be on the podium. But I'm always kind of like, try to check myself of like, it's not all about where you end up at the end. Like if you do every event to the best of your ability, you have fun doing it. Like you're proud of the work that you put in before the weekend. Like it's fine. Like that's enough. And then I think it was like maybe 2 months leading up to the games. Like people started telling me like, oh, you're going to win it this year. Like I have a feeling like you're looking so good. Like some of my training partners were like, based on my times and stuff. And they're like, yeah, you're going to win the games this year. And I was like, okay, like they're just saying that because like they're my friends. Like that doesn't mean anything. But I kind of had it in my head. I was like, it would be cool if you won. So yeah, I feel like I answered way more than I needed to for that. But it wasn't like in my head that I was like, I want to win the games this year. Like that's my goal. It was more just like, I'm going to go and see. I'm really hoping I'm on the podium. And like, of course, winning would be cool.
And then you end up winning.
Yes.
So, and you beat like Lucy McGonigal, right? That is considered one of the better young athletes as well. And you named off a lot of names at the beginning of the show that are all well known in this sport. What was that feeling like standing on top of the podium? Your first podium finish too.
Yeah.
And it's a win.
Crazy. It was such a whirlwind too. Like I'd moved into college like not long, I think 10 days before the games. So I was like, I had explained it to John, like it was pretty recently. I was like, I feel like I was the least nervous for that games because I was so overwhelmed with every other part of my life that I was like, at least I know what I'm getting into when I'm going to compete. Like I know the level of stress that I'm going to be at. But it was just such a good weekend. Like, it was so fun. I enjoyed every event. Like, had a bunch of my friends and family from home there, and we were all in an Airbnb. So it was like the experience on the whole was just amazing. And to like kind of cap it off with like a goal that I hadn't even really set. Like, it was like a far off dream that I was like, yeah, that would be amazing, but that's not like my expectation for this weekend. It was so cool. And I think it didn't even like fully set in until a little later.
So where's the medal?
It's in a shadow box at the CrossFit gym.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool place to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to dive into college now before we get into this season. You picked to go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Which is not Philadelphia.
It is not.
So what made you choose to go south for college?
So I think like the whole college application process, like I wanted nothing to do with it. Like I knew that I needed to go to college and that like that was going to be good for me and that was my plan. But I like the thought of leaving specifically Iron Cross athletics. Like, yeah, moving out was scary, but I was like, I can't leave this gym. Like, these are my people. I don't want to go. So I was like, my mom and I would like have conversations and she did research and stuff. And I was like, okay, like I know what's going to be best for me as far as like developing and becoming like a whole human being, not just a CrossFitter, is to go where I can't come home every weekend. And I like the South. Like I like the warm weather. I like palm trees a lot. Like I like that area. So I applied a bunch of places in the South, ended up South Carolina was the one I got into. So we went down and I loved or I guess backtrack a little bit. I was like between South Carolina and University of Pittsburgh. So neither one was close enough that I could come home every weekend, but Pittsburgh is obviously a lot close. That's like a 4-hour drive versus a 10 hours drive or a flight. But then we went down to visit South Carolina and I was like, okay, like I need to go here. The gym was awesome. Really, the palm trees on campus sold me quite a bit. And I just kind of had the feeling when I was there, I was like, yeah, I can see myself here.
What a stark difference between Oakland in downtown Pittsburgh with the University of Pittsburgh and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Like night and day different.
Yeah.
So you picked South Carolina, the warm weather, all that stuff. You mentioned like leaving Iron Cross would be very hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep training in a whole new location? Do you find a new CrossFit gym? Do you find a community there to get involved with? Does John, and do you do a lot of FaceTiming now because you're 10 hours away?
Yes. So like, I'll be the first to admit the transition was brutal. Like I already knew what CrossFit gym I was going to go to when I moved down there. We had visited that like before visiting the school. And I knew they were great. Like I love the owners. Megan and Riley are awesome. Carolina CrossFit, the community there is awesome. Like now I have great friends there, but the first, like, so I moved to college in August. I'd say through November, I was crying daily. Like I was so homesick. I just was like just kind of blue all the time. Like looking back, I was like, I don't know how I was getting to class into the gym. Like I was just struggling all around. But I think like looking back at that, I'm like, thank goodness I have something I'm that passionate about that like I'm going to go and it's going to make me feel a little better for a few hours of the day. But now, like by the time we got partway into the spring semester, like I love it there. It's like a second home. Carolina CrossFit's amazing. And it was never not amazing. I was just really homesick, but I love it now. So yeah, I think that was actually good for my CrossFit too, because similar to the games, like I was almost so overwhelmed with everything and just kind of out of it, not myself, that it was like, it was easy to focus on something I loved a lot. Like it wasn't like I was kind of living to go to the gym. So it was like, it probably did help my fitness in the long run that I was like, okay, I'm like so overstimulated and overwhelmed, but I know how to do CrossFit.
So how does it work when you walk into Carolina CrossFit and you're a teen games champion and you need extra time in the gym that's not class time? Mm-hmm. How do you start that conversation, and how supportive were the owners right away?
Yeah. I actually didn't have to have that conversation at all because Carolina CrossFit has open gym all day. So that was kind of taken care of from the start. But Megan and Riley, the two of the owners there, are so supportive. Like they immediately, like I get back and Riley starts calling me champ all the time. Like they were so supportive. They were like, anything you need. They like would take me to places on the weekend, so I had something to do. We went down to a CrossFit competition that was like happening the weekend after I got to school to watch and see the people from the gym. It's like they were amazing, and I really don't like Megan's seen me cry many times over being away from home. So I really think like without them, I probably would have had to transfer, or I would have just been a disaster.
So how many hours a day are you in school?
I would say like I'm actually in class maybe like an average of maybe 4 to 5 hours. I kind of screwed myself scheduling wise in the spring. So I'd have like 5 classes one day and then another one. But I think if you take the average, like my classes are like max 90 minutes. And then I took like 5 or 6. So I'd be in there like maybe 3 to 4.5 hours a day.
Is it easier than high school because you're more focused on like just your major and what you're trying to do?
I think so. This year I was kind of in every subject because I had to get the general stuff out of the way. But time-wise, yeah, it's way easier than high school because like my junior and senior year of high school, I started doing 2 sessions. So I'd be gym, right to school, drive back to the gym, and then drive home. So I'd have a little bit of time before I went to bed. But college, like I only have to put aside, if I'm in class for 4.5 hours a day, I need another 2 to do homework. But that's 6 rather than the 7.5, 8 that we were in high school. So just time-wise, it's a lot easier. Oh.
I apologize. Allergies are so bad here right now. So then motivation, when you're living at home, like it's easy to be motivated to do things because your parents are there and there's expectations built in with that. Now you're out on your own and it's all on you. Did you have any trouble with the motivation, or is it just ingrained in you already?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of there at this point. Like, not that my parents don't help motivate me or like keep me disciplined or anything, but like they've never had to tell me like, Reese, go to the gym. Like it's just kind of, it's what I do. So that part wasn't so much of a difficulty when I got to college. I just kind of was used to like knowing what needed to get done, kind of building my schedule around that.
And now you used to do 3 hours a day in the gym. Are you doing more than that these days?
Yeah, I do a lot more than that now. It's been kind of like a steady build up since then. I'd say like I kind of add in like, oh, okay, now this day's also 3 hours. And then eventually we're here where we are now. So now I'm like, well, this week I didn't really do that much training, but leading up to competitions, I'm usually 3 5-hour days, which is 2 sessions, and then 3 like 2 to 3 hour days. So the way we did it leading up to Syndicate was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday were really hard days. Like they were 2 sessions, lots of metcons. Like I would be at the end of the day like, yeah, that was everything I could do today. And then Tuesday and Thursday would be a little more chill, 1 session, still intense and high volume, but not the same. And then Saturday would be kind of similar to Tuesday, Thursday, like 3 hours of pretty focused work.
So you actually qualified for Syndicate last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you came and you competed with the elite athletes at what, 17 years old?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That year you finished, I can't get my cursor to work. Okay. Like 27th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So 27th at the semifinal for the North America East, which is a stacked semifinal. At 17 years old, were you happy with your performance in the elite division?
I think, yeah, I was happy with it. I wasn't like satisfied by any means. But I also like was pretty proud of my efforts. I had some things go wrong in different events here and there, but I think last year I was more there for the experience. I wanted to do well, but I had no like expectation of being near the games. Like I knew I was going for the team games later that year. So I was going to do everything I could to do well and like put forth a good effort, but I was more there like getting there was an accomplishment. So I was kind of just excited to be there and kind of see what I could do.
Then you come in this year, and was this your only in-person qualifying event?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you come in this year and you're kind of like, you're a team games champion, but you're not really known on the elite circuit. Mm-hmm. And you put on a show last weekend.
Thank you.
So 2 event wins and an overall 3rd place finish, only 8 points away from a game spot at 18 years old. That's insane. So what did that do? 1, did you come in hoping for a game spot? 2, what did this performance do for your expectations moving forward?
Yeah. So I wouldn't of course I came in hoping for a game spot. Like I think anyone kind of going for semis is like, yeah, I want to go to the games, but I don't think I had any expectation. Like I think the goal I set at the beginning of the year was top 10 at Syndicate. Well, beginning of the year / once we knew what the structure of the season was. But my goal was top 10. And then after the online semi, after that one, I was kind of like feeling a little bit better about it because I knew a lot of the top athletes in the East qualified to the games. And then I also did a lot better in that online one than I was expecting. So I was like, okay, I know I wasn't expecting to go to the games, or that still wasn't my big goal per se for the weekend, but I was more it could happen. Don't count yourself completely out. But still what I was focused on was being in the top. What I was focused on was giving my best effort and performing as well as I could. But the kind of numbers goal was I wanted to be top 10. And that was still true throughout the whole weekend. Going into the 3rd day, or my goal was to be in the top 10 so I could be in the final heat on the 3rd day. And then I didn't want to see the leaderboard at all after the handstand one because I figured I would be somewhat close because I think I was in 6th or 7th or something. So I figured I'd be kind of close to 2 after winning it. And then I was walking back to see my friends and family, and this guy shows me his phone and he's like, look at this. And I have it. I was like, oh, what is it? And I was in 2nd. But I, even going into the last event, of course I was really hoping to stay in 2nd. I was like, you came this far, you can do this. But I also was I've already far exceeded my expectations. As long as I go out and give my best on this last event, I kind of owe it to myself and my coach and all the work of the past year to walk away proud.
Did the past experiences at the teen games, when you went into that last event with an expectation and maybe fall short from what it was, did that help you in this situation to be more mentally prepared?
I think a little bit. I think as horrible as it was to feel that way, I think my experience the first year at the teen games when I walked in 3rd and it just everything went badly. It was echo bike. It was a sprint workout, echo bike, which is already not my favorite thing, burpee box get overs, and then it was sandbag cleans. And that the main issue that first year was it was 20 burpee box get overs, and I think I got maybe 10 no reps on the way to getting 20. So I think knowing that panicking and going as fast as you can and just losing, I wouldn't say I lost my mind, but getting all overwhelmed and super stressed out isn't going to make it any better. So I think that definitely helped, but I also I'll admit I was freaking out going out into the last event of this one. I don't think I was expecting the tension that was going to be in the warm-up area. There was just a lot going on, and understandably. But I was definitely kind of shook going out for the last event. But I do think being able to calm myself down and being all you need to do is go and do these sandbag cleans. It's not, no matter what's happening, your goal is to do this workout. And if I knew Lexi was in 3rd, but I didn't know points, I was if Lexi and every girl out on the floor is 20 reps ahead of you, but you're getting through these reps at your pace, that's all you can do. And so I think definitely the past experiences of freaking out and having that make it worse, or going through smoothly, and even if the result wasn't great, being able to walk away knowing you did your best was very helpful.
And you learned that you definitely have home runs.
Yeah.
Right? You have a couple things in your bag that nobody can beat you at. And what does that do for your confidence going into next season?
I wouldn't say the home runs changed my confidence much. I knew I was good on my hands. And I know that I like heavy jump ropes and legless rope climbs. So those, knowing that I'm confident in them, and that I would say it made me a little bit more confident in them than I already was, but I don't, my coach and I always talk about how you don't have to have home runs. You just need to be good at everything. So I don't think winning the events was the coolest thing. That was the most amazing feeling ever. But I don't think that specifically is what made me more confident about next season. I think more like the 8th in the run or the 12th in that hundreds workouts. Like those boosted my confidence more than the event wins did.
You said like winning the event is very like overwhelming and exciting. The other day, after you agreed to do the show, I was watching your Instagram and you did a like ask me anything.
Yeah.
And you had some friends kind of dogging you on your victory celebrations at the end of events.
Yep.
So like the jump celebration, or like sometimes you get a little shooting guns going. Do you have a go-to yet, or is it something you're thinking about, or just let the emotion take over?
Yeah, my approach thus far has just been pure like emotion, like so excited I don't really control what's going on. But this like kind of started a few years ago. I like never would be one to like celebrate in the gym. Like I was like excited and bubbly, whatever, but I wasn't like jumping up and down when I made a lift. And then I don't remember what year it was, but there was like heavy snatches at the end of an open workout. And it was my 1 rep. So when I made it, I like did a stupid like jump and clap. And so that has kind of been a joke since then. I don't even think the people that were making fun of me for it recently know about that. But ever since then, like it's kind of a running joke that like my celebrations are like little kid Reese coming through, like not cool in any capacity. It's like jumping and clapping. The finger guns, I don't even know what that was. I think I was trying to do like the South Carolina spur up thing. But yeah, so no, I do not have a signature celebration, and I need to work on one because these videos are embarrassing.
Yeah, I think we have a still shot of the finger guns ish, maybe. No, maybe.
Oh, that video is funny though. That one like slow motion, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. The jump. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to do the like South Carolina spurs up thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to work on that one.
Yeah.
Because I think you're going to be first in a lot more events going forward.
I hope so.
Yeah. So now all this has happened. You're blowing up. Everybody's talking about you. Every show I watch, you come up as someone. You decided not to do NorCal. It was that just it took a lot out of you last weekend, or just you have time. So why rush into like another event?
I think it was, yeah. So I pulled out of NorCal, or I qualified through the qualifier they did in like January. But my coach and I had like established from the start that it was a backup plan. Like I wanted to compete at Syndicate because I'd been there already. I'm like, I know they run it really well. And I was like, this is like the East semifinal. Like that's the one I want to do if I had my choice. So then I made Syndicate out of the Open. I think, yeah, I made Syndicate out of the Open, but I kept the NorCal registration just still as like if in case. And then I think after the online semi, that's when I emailed the people and was like, I'm not going to compete, like pulled out of that one. And it was kind of for both the reasons you were talking about. Like I would say the in-person competitions do take a lot out of me. Like it's a lot physically, but also like just the emotions. Like my systems feel like they're out of whack for like at least a week after those. Just like you're so high and so low and everything's all over the place. So 2 back-to-back I knew was going to be a lot, but also like I don't want to burn myself out competing now. Like I want to be doing this still when I'm 25, 30. Like that's still 7, 8, 10, whatever years away. Like I have a long time. So like I don't want to, just because I'm competitive now and I want to do everything right now doesn't mean that that's like the best idea for me in the long run.
You mentioned a while ago you watched all the documentaries before, and you mentioned Mal. That's someone who did burn out and ended up taking a step back from things. Haley Adams famously took a year off. Is that something that you're really aware of and you're looking at moving forward for yourself?
Yeah, I would say I was not aware of that at all before like that happened to them. Like I was still so fresh to the sport that I was like no, I didn't have like as much emotional like attachment to I wasn't really competing yet. Like I didn't have as much awareness of that. And then I think kind of right around when they came out with their issues is when I started realizing like how I could go down that path if I wasn't careful. But I have like the best support system now, both in Pennsylvania and South Carolina. Like people that like will tell me they're proud no matter what, and they make sure I know that like they're not in this because I'm good at CrossFit. Like they care for me outside of the sport. They care for me if I do badly or if I do great, whatever. Like they're going to be there. So I think just having that helps a lot, and having people that are comfortable and care for me enough to tell me that like on a random Tuesday. But I also think, yeah, kind of being aware of like you can't do 7 competitions this year. Like that's not smart. Even if you get through the season without getting hurt or without feeling burnt out, like that is not a logical way to progress yourself if you want to truly grow and develop, not just kind of get what you want this year.
Any chance you do the last chance qualifier, or do you think, okay, good. I saw you nod.
So initially when they came out with the last chance, or I guess when I got the email about it, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely doing this. And my coach is like, and this was like maybe 2 weeks before Syndicate. He's like, oh, okay. Like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, like, why would I not do this? Like, it's an online one. You don't have to travel. Like, why not just try? He's like, well, if you're burnt out from competition, then like, that's an easy one to pass on. So then I think it was the first or second day of Syndicate. I'm like, I don't know about this last chance qualifier. Like, I might not want to do it now. And he's like, okay, like, you don't have to decide now. And then afterwards, I think I was still kind of on the fence, but I knew like I know myself, I know I'm going to want to do it. So I haven't registered, but my plan is to do it.
So there is still a shot that you go to the games this year.
I guess technically, yeah.
Yeah. That one lone spot left open.
Yeah. That doesn't make me feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish the season was designed better. I think that Andrew Hiller talked about this. If they would have put the online stuff, all of it last,
yeah,
all the in-person stuff first, then you get like the best fields at all the in-person. And then you have like a big last chance that has like 5 spots left.
Yeah. I think, and I don't understand really how they do the world ranking stuff. Like, I don't understand the system for that. Or like the 2 years, like, I think I'm in like 200th or something. So like, not that like, that's not where I should be, but I just don't understand the math or how they do that. But so that said, I don't understand how they allocate, or how they did it last year, where they like allocated the different spots per region. But I do think that like certain regions are more stacked than others. So I do think that needs to be accounted for next year, instead of just the universal, like, here, you guys get 2, you get 2, you get 1, but the rest of you are all getting 2. Like, I feel like there does need to be some, like, they need to account some way for the strength of the region.
Yeah. Either don't put any regionality on any of them, so you can go anywhere you want in the world,
Yeah.
or they all get regional and you actually have to figure out where the stacked fields are.
Yeah.
But yeah, North America East is always, the East Coast is just killer.
Yeah.
It just is.
Tennessee as a state is just, they have so many.
North Carolina's really strong. You have TTT in Georgia that's right there.
Brute's killing it in Florida.
Yeah, it's insane. Pennsylvania's a hotbed. Like,
yeah, I think is it Sammy Pugh? I think she just made the games on a team. I didn't realize she was from Pennsylvania until like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and then here in Ohio, like I go to Christy Aramo O'Connell's gym before she sold it. Mm-hmm. And then we have Amanda Barnhart here in Ohio. I'm missing people. The Pancheks, all the Pancheks are here.
Yeah, he started, right?
So yeah, it's crazy. All on the East Coast. And it kind of started in California, and California's kind of a hotbed, but then the middle needs to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're going to do last chance qualifier. We've talked about like the emotional toll that all this can take. So are you going to take some time, if you do last chance and don't qualify, you're going to take some time off this summer to just kind of chill?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not I feel like time off is almost worse for my mental health than just toning down the training a bit. Like I took off completely Monday and Tuesday this week and I was losing it. Then I texted my coach like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm like, yeah, I lost all my fitness. This isn't good. He's like, okay, you did not like lose all of your fitness in 3 days. That's not how that works. But I think the plan right now, if I don't qualify through the last chance, is to do like a partner competition with my friend Emily in July, and then make the next big thing I do be Crash in October. So it gives me kind of an off season to either like not really chill, like I'll still train pretty hard, but like not have that kind of pressure of like you're training for something right now, like there's competition in here and here and here. So that would be the plan if I don't make it. If I do, obviously I would games train. So yeah.
How close is University of South Carolina to Crash?
It's only like 90 minutes. So last year, it fell on my birthday weekend. So I had like my friends and my mom came down. So we ended up just driving up for the last day to watch. And then I went there to train for a day, like maybe 2 months ago. So it is pretty close. And that I watched it last year. I was like, this competition's awesome. I really want to do it. And I think I told Perrin from Think Tank in the back at Syndicate, I was like, I really hope JR invites me. I really want to go to Crash. She's like, yeah, he'll invite you. And then he made the comment on my Instagram, like, hope you want to be the first announced. So yeah.
JR has all the toys.
Yes.
So like that makes that competition so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's such a good programmer. And hell, you won 2 of his events at Syndicate, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love for you to do Crash and get to watch you take that on, because I think that's a really cool event.
Yeah, it comes at a nice time too, especially like if you are at the games, then you still have a couple months if you want to do it to kind of take like some time off and then ramp back up. And if you're not at the games, it kind of serves as like it's not that far off.
Yeah. Okay. So you're already looking into the next off season and maybe some stuff this year. And then with what's crazy, you're so young and it's a good thing, I think, because we don't know what's happening next year with the sale of CrossFit. Right. And if someone buys it next year, could be completely different format.
Yeah.
Does that stress you out, or it does stress you out?
I would say I've gotten better recently about not like obsessing over it. Like I know like nobody cares my opinion on the matter. Like I can't do anything about the structure of the season. Like it's not in my hands or anywhere close to them. So I think I've been better now of just being like I know why I do CrossFit and I know why I like to compete, and like what the competition is like doesn't matter so much. Like I want there to be a games because my dream is to go to the games as an elite. But at the end of the day, like if there's no games, like, you can't create a games. Like you're just going to do kind of what the rest of the field is doing. Like wherever like everyone else you would be competing against is going, like that's what I would try to go to then. But yeah, I would say like it does make me nervous, the idea that like there might not be one next year.
Well, I don't think there's not going to be one, but it just, the format of the season could be different for sure.
Right.
You're going to school. What is your commitment to school and then this CrossFit thing?
I would say like I'm fully committed to both. Like I go to full-time, well, I'm home for summer, but I do school full-time. Like I care about my grades and I don't really know what I want to do when I grow up. But I care about school. I take it seriously. And I care a lot about CrossFit. Obviously I take that very seriously. So like there are some considerations, like I can't do all of the competitions because I can't be missing all of the school. But I would say like there's a balance to be found, but I wouldn't say that I like put one over the other.
The main reason I ask is you have this thing, this WFP thing that's out there.
Yeah.
Where if you get in the top 20, you earn a salary for the year, essentially. And is that something that would ever entice you, or is it too much commitment for a full-time student?
I think it's tricky. Like this year I did do World Fitness Project because I was like, I can't miss that much school. Like it came right around when finals week was. So in affiliate semifinals was finals week, which that was an interesting time. But we kind of just had the talk of like, there's some, like, I can't do Rogue if it's going to be in Ireland in December, because that's 2 weeks out of school. So there are like considerations where like if I'm going to do both of these, like I have to know that I can't do everything for both ones. Like I'm going to miss some school, but I can't miss weeks of school for CrossFit. So I wouldn't say, like, I think if I could time it out well, or if there comes a time when it's like, okay, like you're going to compete a lot this semester, pick as many online classes as you can. Like I could see that happening where like I kind of manipulate my schedule a little bit to allow me to compete more. But like also college is 4 years. Like I'll have time. I'll only be 21 when I graduate. So I'll have still time if there's like, I really want to do this competition, but I can't right now.
That's such a mature way of looking at things. Like, yeah, you're only going to be 21. Like I just got done listening to an interview with Annika Greer, and she's turning 22 in a week.
Yeah.
And it's like she's been trying to make the games for 8 years.
Yeah.
And like finally got it. And you just think like with as much time as she's put in, she's got to be like 28, and she's not even 22 yet. Yeah.
I think also people don't think about this, but there's so much of a rush for the teen athletes because you only get 4 years of eligibility. And you only, like, at some extent, like, I know I felt a lot of pressure when I was 15 because I knew that I was going to age up and it was going to be a lot harder the next year. So there is, like, when you're in the teen division, like, you are rushing. Like, if you're not quite at that level yet, like, you kind of have to really make sure that you're going hard until you catch up, because you don't have, like, it was kind of a peaceful or, like, comforting idea when this kind of going into the season, I was like, you don't have to rush. Like you want to make it this year and you want to keep working hard and pushing as hard as you can, but like there's plenty of time. It's not like this year or bust. Not that it is in the teen division, but there is a little bit more of a timeline on it.
Is it hard to gear down that thought process moving from the teens to the elite?
Yeah, for sure. And I think like just kind of who I am is like, I like to be stretched a little bit thin. Like I like to be like, not rushing, but I like to be a little bit under pressure. Like I like to kind of have that of like, you're going for this, like, let's go as hard as you can right now. Let's go. And like, that's not really a healthy approach. You can't do that for the entire year, for years on years on years. So I think like right before the Open this year, I took like the longest deload I've ever taken. And it wasn't really intentional. Like some stuff came up where I was like, I need to, like, something's got to change. But I did like not a ton of intense CrossFit for 2 weeks before the Open started. And I think it was maybe the best thing I could have done, because then like I've never been so excited to hurt really bad as I was going into that first Open workout. So I think just knowing that like one, like, well, I still haven't learned this. I freak out every time, but your fitness hasn't left just because you don't feel great after a competition, but also like you can ease back a little bit here and there and it'll be okay.
Well, and the reality is you probably have long-term goals of like podiuming at the elite games. Mm-hmm. And building yourself to that level is probably going to take some time. And if you try to rush to make it now, what good is it finishing 28th for 3 years in a row, or building you to be the better athlete to podium?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even like certain things, like my strength needs some work. Like it's not a huge hole, but like it's going to take a long time for me to up my lifts however many pounds. And like that strength training takes time. Building your aerobic takes time. Like you can rush it, but that's not going to really make it any better. That's just kind of going to make you frustrated and maybe hurt.
How many sandbag cleans are in your future?
A lot. Yeah. I'm going to do, my coach told me yesterday, he's like, so our gym has, I think, a 50, a 75, 100, 150, and 200. So like it is kind of tricky because he can't just turn me loose and be like, go, you're going to do 150 sandbag cleans at 150 pounds every day. Like that's, your body can't handle that. But then the 100 isn't like the 100 isn't like have the same effect. Like the 100 I can cycle very well. I feel very good about that. The 150 I feel less good about. So he just told me yesterday, he's like, yeah, there's 125 on the way. You're going to be able to touch and go 20 by the end of the year. Or I don't know if he put a deadline on it, but he said something along the lines of like, when you can do 20 touch and go at 125, the 150 is going to feel way better.
Yeah. Well, Reese, we're past the hour. I try to keep these to an hour. Thank you so much for taking time. Before I go, I do want to share a couple comments with you. Awesome. Train to Live says Reese is so impressive.
Thanks.
Benita, so mature. John Jenkins, amazing performances at Syndicate, Reese. And then Lana, loved her after judging online semis, but love her even more after hearing her speak. It's fun to follow your progress with the sport, Reese. Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
So a couple of your fans in the chat, I just wanted to share a couple of those. But I want to thank you for doing this. This has been awesome. You've been fun to watch this year, and I can't wait to see what happens in your future.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And you're always welcome back on the show anytime.
Thank you.
With that, guys, thank you so much for joining in with us. We'll be back on Sunday night with Sunday Night CrossFit Talk with Carolyn Prevost and Jamie Latimer and myself. We'll see everybody then. Thank you, guys. Bye.